Good morning, good afternoon, Village. How are you guys doing out there? Man, it's good to be in front of you guys again. Today is a very good day, right? So you know where you're at. You're here with us. This is the Black Mental Health Channel, right? Here at the Black Mental Health Channel, we talk about all things mental health, emotional wellness as it relates and connects to African Americans and the Black community. Our job, our mission here is just simply to increase awareness, right? Talk about having the difficult conversations and to support, encourage, acknowledge all people, everybody in the best way possible so that you can be the best version of yourself. My name is Harold Rayfield. You know me. I am a therapist, licensed professional counselor here in the states of Oklahoma. I'm also licensed in the state of Texas and Georgia to provide licensed professional counseling. And so this is a great opportunity, a great platform for me. I'm just glad to be in front of you guys, coming to you live from the beautiful city of Oklahoma City here in Oklahoma, right? So, of course, you know the routine. Before we get started, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notifications button so that you can stay abreast in the know of all of the videos that we bring to you. We try to bring them on a weekly basis, and so that you don't miss out on the conversation or the information that we're trying to provide to the African American community in regards to mental health, right? So with that being said, that's who we are. You know what we do? Please feel free to join the conversation at any point. You can drop a comment below or later on after the video's over, you go back and hear something or think about something, please shoot me a comment. I would love to hear from you guys out there about how things are going and how we can make this channel better on a daily basis, weekly basis, so that it can benefit our community. So let's jump into our conversation. As you know, right, spring is here. We are now well into March and it should be getting warmer. I got my thin sweater on, so I'm feeling a little bit better. Hopefully the snow and the ice is behind us and not in front of us, right? It's also March Madness. Hooping is going on. There's a lot of basketball on television, men's and women's basketball. So I'm excited. Stay glued to the TV. Hopefully your team is winning. I hope my team wins or at least does well in the tournament. So we'll see how that goes. With that being said, you know, there's a lot of things going on with mental health in March, right? And so I wanted to stop, just take a brief minute just to unpack just a little bit a really strong, beneficial conversation about women and mental health, right? On March 8th, we celebrated International Women's Day. How awesome. International Women's Day was celebrated on March 8th, and that's a very big deal. And so I know sometimes we like to celebrate women's Women's Day or our girls, our ladies in May, but I think now is a great time. March is a great time to have that conversation. So let's get into it just a little bit, just fine tune some things about how that relates to our bigger mindset, the bigger picture of mental health, right? So as you know, from the statistics, 1 in 5 Americans will experience some sort of mental health issue when it comes to mental health throughout the nation, right? We know that for women's sake, right, for women, that they experience and report higher levels of emotional distress than men. And it doesn't mean that they experience it more often, which can be the case, but we know that women are more likely to express it, report it, talk about their concerns with their mental health, right? So according to the National Institute of Mental Health, women are at a prevalence of mental illness at about a rate of 25% or so, whereas men are a little bit less than that in what they're willing to report as mental illness over the last couple of years. There's a prevalence of mental illness, mental health issues, women at a little bit higher rate than men. We also know that women also report serious mental illness at a rate of about 8% of the female population, where it's only about 4% of the male population, men actually reporting serious mental illness. We also know, according to the numbers, that around 52% or so of the women actually seek services, support, help for mental illness, whereas that number is slightly lower for men, around the 30s or upper 40s. So women actually report having and experiencing more mental illness, more mental health issues, They also seek treatment and services at a higher rate as well, right? So in terms of mental illness and mental health, we recognize that women have a lot of different things going on, a lot of different challenges, right? So what are some of the things, what are some of the challenges that are going to affect a woman's mental health? We know that it could be career oriented, right? We know that women on average make less money than men for the having or the same title and performing the same job role, same job description. Women make less money. We also know that women are more likely to live in poverty. And so women going through those experiences with poverty and financial issues also means that there's a host of number of other issues that include safety, personal wellness, quality of life and well-being, not only for women, but if they happen to have children, being able to provide for those children as well. So career is different, right? Affects women differently. Money is obviously different with capitalism here in the United States. Also, we know that women are more likely to experience and be involved in domestic violence than men, right? We know that women are more likely to be sexually assaulted, sexually abused, emotionally abused, and report those experiences, that trauma, more so than males, right? We also know that women are more likely to experience sexual violence, which can cause PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, because of those negative experiences that they're more likely to experience and report than boys, than men. So those are a lot of issues: career, money, physical, emotional abuse, sexual violence, sexual assault. Excuse me. Those challenges can be very different and can present themselves very different for women than men. And so it makes the challenge of supporting and offering treatment and coping skills very, very different to women than as we treat men, right? So that's what it is. That's the prevalence. Those are some of the numbers behind some of the mental health concerns with women. Also some of the issues that affect women, the careers, the poverty, right? Finances, also physical and emotional abuse, also sexual assault, trauma. Those are all issues that might be very different for women. Other issues that are seem to be different challenges for women, right? Also physical appearance, body issues, right? Women are more likely to have, experience, and report eating disorders, whether it's bulimia, anorexia, right? Women are also more likely to report and experience body image issues, problems. And so those are all issues that make the female experience very different, very challenging. When it comes to African-American, Black women, our community, this is the Black Mental Health Channel. Well, how does it affect mental health in terms of all of these circumstances and challenges for Black women? We know that Black women are more likely to live in poverty. As of right now, the numbers says, by the numbers, 1 in every 5 families, right, that are female-led, about 1 in every 5 families are going to be living in poverty. And so that's a challenge. That's an issue. And poverty creates its own set of challenges from the parental role, right? Also from the financial and the providing role for African-American women. We also know that 30% of female households are being led by females, right? So 30% of our African-American households, our families, are female-led, meaning there's no man in the household, right, to provide that additional support, care, love for not only the children if they have any, but also for the woman, right? And so that's a challenge. Whereas with our white Caucasian counterparts, there's only a 9% population that actually are female-led households. Excuse me. So that's a huge disparity. Nearly 21% higher, 20% increase in African-American households being led by women, which we know, according to the numbers, women make less money than men, also more likely to experience issues with stress, career, finances. We also know the sexual, so as you can tell, there's a lot that's going on with Black women. There's a lot going on with women as a whole, as a population, that we got to do a better job of supporting you guys. That's why I want to take this time just to talk about some of these things, some of these issues. All right, so that's the prevalence. That's the issues that affect our women, specific issues that affect Black women, right? And then what can we do about it? So what do we need to talk about? Talk about coping. there are a lot of stigmas surrounding the Black woman, right? Women in general and the Black woman, that Black women are strong. And so we got to be strong and power through. We want to break through that myth that asking for help is also a sign of weakness. It's not true. And we got to be able to talk to our girls, specifically our Black girls, about loving themselves, being confident, being strong, being educated, and also being willing to talk about their mental health, their emotional well-being, right? We know that girls can struggle with self-esteem, identity issues, just like boys can, but maybe at a higher rate because of all of these said issues that we talked about previously a minute ago. And so we got to be okay with changing the narrative, right? That it is okay to ask for help. You are still strong. You are still admired, respected, loved, and appreciated. And you can also be willing to share that, life can get tough. Things can be difficult. And that's okay to talk about it and find solutions and get help and support, right? So we got to demystify this myth that Black women got to be strong and we don't have to have emotions. We don't have to be able to share or support our women in what you ladies got or what you guys go through out there. So we want to make sure that we are teaching the right narratives to our young girls. So this is a part of that process. So this month in March, spring cleaning, right? We want to talk about International Women's Day. It was March 8th. It was a couple of weeks ago. It's passed. But these are some of the issues, some of the challenges with mental health as it relates to women. What do you guys think? What are some of the issues that I missed today, or that some of the issues that you really see in your everyday life that women go through from a mental health standpoint that we're not talking about enough? Please leave a comment below, shoot us an email. I would love to have a conversation with you about what else can we be talking about in order to support our women, to provide that context of value and validation. So 3 things we talked about, right? Mental health issues for women. We talked about some of the numbers behind it. We talked about some of the issues that affect women's mental health, right? And what that looks like and how it could be different for men, because maybe we don't experience those same trauma as you guys do, you ladies do out there. We also want to talk about how we can make things better in terms of mental health for women, mental health for African American women. Is we got to start having conversations about some of the things that you guys go through. Historically, African American women, Black women have been through so much physical, sexual trauma, right? Starting from slavery and Reconstruction and Jim Crow, so that we have not done a good job always about creating a platform for Black women specifically to talk about their experience and what they go through. We know that historically Black women have been over-sexualized, right? And dehumanized and devalued. And so we have to start having these conversations about what beauty looks like. We know that there's still colorism. It still exists in the African American community, in our community, right? The color of your skin, it makes you prettier or less pretty to somebody else. We got to get away from those stigmas, those narratives, because those are destroying our communities. It's destroying the self-esteem, the self-worth, the self-value of our girls, of our women, right? We have to start talking and having these conversations so we can do a better job of supporting you ladies out there. And that's important so that we can be better. We know that coping skills are important, and we want to provide those things for our ladies, our young girls, so that they can grow up knowing that career-wise, they should be demanding more for their services, for their work, their job description. We know that there are things that can be better, can be different, and we're starting to get better at it, but we're still not there yet. We do have a ways to go, but we're going to get there as long as we start these conversations as men, right? Talk about the importance and the value of women and all that you guys do for us and our families and our communities. I know that I appreciate you. You guys you ladies, you mean everything to me. It's important. I was raised by a strong Black woman. And so it's important that we get to start having these conversations now with our young girls at 8, 9, 10, 11 about their value and their worth and their skin tone and their hair there are so many conversations that we just got to continue to have and keep having so that we can support the mental health of all of our women. Thank you for your time. Is this a good place for us to stop? What do you think? Man, this is a huge conversation. We're going to keep talking about it all year long. This is just a part of it. This is just the start.